Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World, where today we are taking a look at a brand new Civivi that dropped today, and I have a feeling this guy is going to be wildly popular, and this really has me thinking of just what 2023 is for pocket knives. At first, earlier in the year, I was like, oh, this is definitely the year of CJRB. They made great strides, and I thought, oh, Vosted's making noise. Recently, there has been a massive accumulation of amazing small knives brought in by 2 or 3 different companies, and Civivi is now in that mix because what we have in here is a 5th pocket gem of a knife, and this is none other than the Civivi Baby Banter Wharncliffe. Now, before I go any further into this review, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you like what you see, please do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, follow along, and I will continue to bring you the content. Now, let's take a look at some overall specs on this gnarly little warnie right here. We have an overall length coming in at 5.45 inches, a blade length at 2.32 inches, with a blade thickness at a nice thin and slicey 90 thousandths blade stock, with Nitro V steel, a very good looking Wharncliffe blade. I really like that slight little angle on the sharpened edge leading up to the tip. Very nice Wharncliffe design. A flat grind with a handle length coming in at 3.13 inches, a handle thickness at 440 thousandths, with some rather impressive black burlap micarta, which I'll talk a little more about when we get to the handle. A liner lock locking mechanism, a user of a left or right hand tip up carry, a weight coming in at a super light 2 ounces, designed by, I'm sure you guys pretty much all know him, Ben Peterson, now the owner of NAFCO, but he does this design through Civivi, and he also has a design through We Knives as well of a bigger banter. But this one here is coming in at $62.90. So no real issue with the price. I mean, some people would say that's a lot for a small Civivi knife, but I will also turn right around and say, well, Ben's got to get his cut. It's a very popular knife, and it uses some pretty nice micarta. Like, I'm really happy with the materials on this knife. So personally, I don't have any issue for $62.90. And if you find it at certain places, there's always, 10% off discount codes here and there. I have one through White Mountain Knives. These always sell out really quick at White Mountain Knives, but you can get them on sale or, all over the place for maybe a little less than $62.90. Size comparisons. Let's compare it to 2 other amazing small knives that just came out, to where I'm serious, guys. This is easily the best year that I can ever remember for the most releases of small knives that just feel like absolute money. These 2 right here in particular, both from CJRB, the Mica and the Mini Pyrite, measure up extremely well with this Baby Banter. And the Mica and Baby Banter, as we talked earlier, that, this Baby Banter is extremely similar to, let's just bring him in, the regular Baby Banter right here. And we'll actually do this, put this down there so you can kind of get a true side-by-side of the Baby Banter with the Baby Banter Wharncliffe. And there really isn't much of a difference. Basically the exact same knife with just a different blade shape. And let me know, which one do you prefer of these 2? Both super useful knives. I've loved the Baby Banter. That is one of my most carried 5th pocket knives of all time, especially with these 2 being so new. They're going to get some pocket time because they're awesome, but the Baby Banter checked every box for me, like right out of the gate, and I just fell in love with it. And I gotta say, this Wharncliffe version right here is an absolute stud. It's perfect for a small knife. Now, I don't want to discredit the Baby Banter because I still like the little amount of belly, and it has a very nice slicey tip. There's still a lot of things to love about the original Baby Banter. But when it comes to the Wharncliffe version, I just really like this right here. Like, for a small knife, like, this is it. This is amazing. You have a super aggressive blade with a behind the edge reading of 15 thousandths. So this is, I wouldn't say a complete, sometimes I call blades razors, and you guys all know when I'm saying that, I'm being a little sarcastic, a little over dramatic, but ridiculously slicey little blade here. Aggressive tip, very nice sharpening choil down there. Nice little plunge grind, keeping it nice and thin all the way behind the sharpened edge. You have the thumb stud mostly out of the way of the cutting path. That's very important on a small knife. When you have a knife this small, you don't want to lose any of that sharpened edge. You want to be able to make sweeps to where really your thumb is so much over the thumb stud, your thumb is more in the way of the cutting path. So if you wanted to make full sweeps, you could kind of just duck down here and really get a good solid length of cutting in on such a small knife. So very, very nice, the design of this blade. I am a huge fan, and I think it looks really good. When this first came out, I knew the moment I saw it on Instagram, I was like, it's going to be a hit. Like, people are just going to love it. Mainly because I already knew how popular the regular Banter was, or the regular Baby Banter. But this one, the real big difference with this knife, obviously the blade shape, but then also in the handle here, we have fully contoured scales. So as you can see, flat G10, which still feels, this knife feels stinking amazing in the hand. I mean, there is absolutely perfect ergos for a small knife. And as you can see, it's the exact same here, but with fully contoured scales, which, you know, to be totally honest, for me to say it makes a huge difference, I really don't think it does. Now, it is one of those things, though, to where usually fully contoured scales will equate to a little more time because a little more milling, a little more, you know, precision in terms of just the overall feel in hand. Some people prefer that. And that usually fully contoured scales will always equate to a slightly higher cost of the knife, which also helps justify that $62.90. But I honestly don't know. Let's see here. I mean, yeah, they're really kind of, for me, for a small knife like this, well, I think it's more the micarta I like. The round, smooth surface of the micarta, I think, is what I like a little more than the G10. But yeah, still love both of them. But that is really important to note with the full contouring there. That is really nice. And this black micarta. So when I got this, I got this like 4 days ago, but I've only carried it for a couple days because I was carrying other knives for other reviews the other days. But when I pulled it out of the box, if you buy one of these and you get one and you pull it out and you're like, oh, this micarta looks less than impressive, give it some time. You give it some pocket time, carry it around. This micarta got to looking really nice really quick for me. When I got it out, it looked pretty dry and I wasn't too sure about it. But it got a really nice kind of three-dimensional look going on to where it darkened up real quick. It stayed dark. Really, really big fan of this black micarta because I've had some really bad experiences with black micarta in the past, like nightmarish experiences to where I just thought it looked like complete crap. But this looks great. Really, really happy with this. Goes great with the black blade, and I love that little accent there of the gold stud. For that just works for me. I think it's the burlap micarta in there that just works really well with the gold stud, but I'm a huge fan of that. I think it looks great. Really nice outfit for this knife. And I believe there is another option that is like purple, just canvas micarta. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It looks like purple canvas micarta to me. And as you can see here, this is burlap. If you guys don't know the difference, canvas micarta is more like this right here on this giant mouse. It's more of a really tight pattern. Most of you probably know this, but sometimes there's some newer people into the knife community. So this is canvas micarta. This is burlap micarta. Burlap micarta, you always see a wider weave of the fabric in there. That's the big difference. But it's got the nice deep carry clip that I think everybody likes, fully recessed. Yeah, Ben hit on all the details with this. Now, when it comes to liner lock access, that's what I really, really love about this knife. The whole handle really comes back a little more on the show side, so it's very, very easy to just break that lock and shake it shut. For a small knife, it's super fidgety. The thumb studs are placed just in the right spot, so you can thumb flick it just as well, just as easily as you can middle finger flick it. So it's very, very nice to deploy. It's running on bearings, so you can probably tell just by, usually whenever something's on bearings, if you close the liner lock like this and it falls shut like that, it's usually a very good indication it's on bearings. And of course, you can always just look in there. It's a little hard to see through the camera, but there they are in there. But yeah, this Baby Banter is awesome. I love the blade shape. If I had to pick one, now granted, I will not be selling either one of my Baby Banters because I think they're both amazing. But if I had to, if you had my, if you twisted my arm and say, pick one, I would probably have to pick the Wharncliffe version only because I think this style of blade works better on a small knife for reasons like that. And really just this. It's just a more aggressive slicey tip. And that's what I look for in a small knife. So it's also why I like this mini Pyrite so much. 2 aggressive tips right here. 2 really good looking knives. But the Baby Banter is just an absolute star. Home run of a 5th pocket knife. I know I've said this a lot lately with those 2 CJRBs from earlier, but literally in 2023, we have had 3 of the best ever small knives to ever be made, especially in like a budget realm be released. Like I'm a huge fan of all those, as well as this Baby Banter Wharncliffe. Let me know what you guys think of this, and definitely let me know, what do you prefer, the Wharncliffe shape or the drop point shape of the original Baby Banter right here? I would love to know your thoughts on that. But I think they're both home runs. This one's brand new and highly recommended by Wayne Sharp World. If it's something that fits your fancy, hop right on it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Really hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And until the next one, I'm out.